Hey everyone, my name is Manasi and I'm delighted to report back our progress on our project, balancing decarbonization and energy equity with the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my wonderful team who did an excellent job synthesizing a very technical topic in a short duration of time, and also our faculty advisor, Professor McGinnis, for her constant guidance throughout. We'd start with the client overview, recap our problem statement, walk you through our methodology and proposed solutions, and then conclude with some key takeaways. Our client, the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities, or as you'll hear me refer to them, the NJBPU, is the primary regulatory agency that is responsible for the delivery of critical energy services like gas and power to all 9 million New Jersey residents. Their primary goal is to do this in a manner that is safe, affordable, and timely. Now, New Jersey has ambitious climate goals. They're targeting 100% clean energy by 2035. Their strategic vision and plan to do this is laid out in their New Jersey Energy Master Plan. As one of the key agencies responsible for spearheading this transition, our client, the NJBPU, commissioned a ratepayer impact study to assess the effects of this transition on residents' energy bills. Their findings indicate that customers who do not adopt electrification or energy efficiency measures will see their energy costs rise almost 20%. Due to the high upfront costs associated with making these upgrades, these customers are likely to be low and middle income. In fact, our research shows that the ability for New Jersey residents to pay their electricity bills has already been strained since the pandemic. While the state has a number of energy assistance programs, despite low enrollment, in some cases only up to 30%, those are also under considerable stress. Our project mandate, therefore, was to research what options exist to change how New Jersey residents might be billed for energy services with a view to mitigate a high energy burden, especially for the future. Now let's walk through our methodology. First, some key definitions. Energy burden is defined as a percentage of a household's income being spent on energy costs. Access to energy is a basic human right, and experts indicate that no household should have to spend more than 6% of their income on energy-related expenditure. The focus of our project was also low and middle income households. These are households that earn up to 150% of the federal poverty level. Now, we evaluated our proposals through a mix of quantitative and qualitative factors. We first analyzed how our proposed policy would impact forecasted energy burdens for New Jersey residents, and further assessed how feasible a solution was based on a variety of political and administrative factors, as well as cost to implement. In order to project the future energy burdens for New Jersey residents, our team has worked on building a custom tool to estimate how income growth, inflation, gas and power price changes would impact a household's energy spending. To this, we then layer on our policy assumption, which allow us to forecast a household's energy burden all the way until 2030. We'll just see it in action in the following slide. This tool estimates that if we do nothing, energy burden for the lowest income households will rise to almost 13%. Given our 6% target, this is an urgent call to action. So what alternatives might exist to change how New Jersey residents might be charged for their electricity? For the purpose of this presentation, we'll contrast two different solutions that we came up with in consultation with our client. They are an income-based fixed charge and inverted block rates. I know this is now starting to sound very technical, but please bear with me as we'll quickly break it down in the next couple of slides. First, an income-based fixed charge. Now, if you wanted a household's energy burden to be apportionate to their level of income, one way of resolving that is to just do exactly that. Charge them a fixed, predictable monthly charge that is pegged to their level of income. Low-income households would pay a lower fixed monthly charge, and higher income households would pay a higher fixed monthly charge. Our projections indicate that this way of calculating energy bills is extremely effective at bringing down energy burdens for the lowest income households down to 6%, without significantly affecting the energy burden for the highest income households, as you can clearly see in the graph. Another way of redistributing the energy burden is inverted block rates. In this method, we would charge an increasingly higher rate of electricity per unit of electricity consumed as a household's consumption increases. This works because higher income households typically consume more electricity than lower income households. However, our projections indicate that this method of calculating energy bills is only marginally effective at bringing down energy costs by about 2%. But you could potentially supplement it with other policy options. For example, Delhi in India experimented with making their first block free, thereby ensuring equitable energy access for a fair level of consumption. While projecting energy burdens is essential to the goals of our project, it does not show you the full picture. Our qualitative analysis indicates that inverted block rates are extremely easy to implement and might be even more effective than our models indicate as higher income households make system-wide shifts towards electrical vehicles and electrical heating. On the other hand, while income-based fixed charges are progressive and effective, they may run into several operational challenges, like coordinating tax information from customers, and then the resulting political backlash of that, and as well as privacy concerns for having to share this information in the first place. However, sometimes a policy option can seem daunting simply because it hasn't been done before. In California, as of last week, 3 major utilities have submitted proposals for a fixed income-based charge. While this development will take at least 2 years to actually come into effect, you can rest assured that our capstone team will be tracking this development for long after the project is over. To summarize our project progress, we've conducted a qualitative and quantitative review of different options that exist to change how customers might pay for their electricity, created a customizable framework that our client can use to stress test additional policy options and assess their impact on energy burdens. And we've also made additional recommendations, including improvements to their energy assistance programs. In conclusion, decarbonizing the economy is essential, but we need serious reforms to ensure a just transition. But changing something as fundamental as how a resident pays their electricity bills is a long-drawn regulatory process that takes consultation across different stakeholders over several years. We hope that our work with the board will serve as a crucial first step in ensuring a fair and equitable transition for all of the residents of New Jersey and eventually, hopefully, across the country. Thank you, and I welcome any questions.
Thank you for your presentation, Manasi. That was incredibly interesting. I have a question about the time of day aspect of energy pricing. So in wholesale markets, the time of day is a big part of the energy price, right? And in some jurisdictions, that price is passed on to the consumer, and in some places it isn't. How does your proposal incorporate those time of day aspects to energy pricing? And do you think, with the research that you've done, that it would be okay to not pass on those prices, and also thereby not set the incentives for people to rely on energy when there is a lot of variable renewable energy?
Well, that's such an excellent question, Oliver. While time of use does not feature in this presentation here, we've definitely put a detailed section out for this in our report that we're submitting to the client. The reason that we did not consider time of use at this point of time is that we were looking for the path of least resistance. Time of use requires advanced metering infrastructure to be successful. And at this point of time, the penetration for smart meters in New Jersey isn't at the level that we would be able to successfully implement that. However, we do think that you need some sort of a price signal to make sure, like you said, the wholesale electricity markets vary considerably on a day-to-day basis, on a hour-of-day basis, and we need to make sure that the cost of electricity kind of somehow reflects that. I don't think that this should be passed on to all customers equally, but I think we do explain it in detail in our report, but it's not something that we've looked into in a lot of detail.
Sorry. That was really interesting. Thank you so much. I really want to read your report. So I'm super curious how energy efficiency plays into this, because what I'm assuming is that, like, with more low income folks, their energy use is probably just less efficient, and therefore is a big reason why their prices are higher. So do you know, and you don't have to know this, but like maybe you do know it, how energy efficiency technologies might be of assistance?
That's such an interesting question. And I'm like, this is a problem that there's multiple ways to resolve, right? Like, one of the things that you can do is maybe help low-income households upgrade their appliances to bring them at par with the energy consumption for, like, as if they had energy to bring them at par with high-income households. And there are programs that support this, but energy efficiency programs also run into a lot of administrative hassles. For example, there's often like the renter-landlord dichotomy always exists, where even if I'm living in a house, I can't always upgrade that house's appliances in order to make sure that my energy costs are low. And so we're trying to really find very automatic ways of resolving this energy burden. And that's really like dependent on the bill that you get. But there are definitely other programs in other ways. So I think the Comfort Partners program that Professor McGinnis actually worked very closely with, works on energy efficiency and weatherization and installation assistance. That was out of scope for this project, but we think it's a really important part of ensuring that low-income households are equipped for the future. Thank you for the question.
First of all, great work. It looks like you guys did some real impactful work this past semester. I just have a question about the tool that you've built to help your client navigate the model. It sounds like, could you elaborate more on that?
Yeah. So what we did was we started off with the Department of Energy's low income affordability tool, which kind of has household characteristics and energy burden data until 2018. What we've then done is assumed different levels of income growth, inflation growth, and then layered on gas and power price forecasts from the EIA to kind of then project out energy burdens. And then we further did a sensitivity analysis on our results to make sure that we're seeing, just to kind of analyze the range of options that we were seeing. Is there something specific that you would like to know about?
Do you have a screenshot of what it looks like?
I have a screenshot of a tool that we built on top of the model. Let's see if I can find that. This is what it kind of looks like. But yeah, I can show you the not so pretty Excel version of this offline for sure.
Thanks.
And also shout out to Jerry and Songze, who actually put in a lot of work on that.